The truth about wealth, I wish I would have known from birth. Life is a recipe. That's right. Life is a recipe. Stick with me on this. Now, if I ask you right now this question, could you bake brownies from scratch? A lot of you are going to say, yeah, I totally could, which is really cool, by the way. It's awesome. But if I were also to ask you, could you bake brownies from a recipe? All of you have the capability of doing that, and all of you could say yes, right? So hear me out. If everybody can bake brownies from a recipe, then all we got to do is find the recipe we want to bake, and we can accomplish it. But here's the thing I want you to think about. The recipe doesn't care if you're poor. The recipe doesn't care if you're rich. The recipe doesn't care what your ethnicity is. The recipe doesn't care if you're a woman. The recipe doesn't care if you're a man. All the recipe cares about is that you follow it. And that's where we get caught up, is we try to find a recipe, then we start to add different things to it, ingredients to it, all these things, when we don't need to do that. We literally need to find the exact recipe that fits exactly what we want to have happen in our life and follow it. That's it. That's the recipe to life. So if you look at the people who've been the most successful in life, they've literally followed a recipe, step by step. And the coolest part about life today is nothing's being created. Everything's been invented. All information is old information, which is absolutely awesome. So all you've got to do is figure out who has the wealth recipe you want. Because the way you want to make your wealth and the way I want to make my wealth might be totally different. There's not a right or wrong. Brownies versus ice cream. Brownies versus cake. They're all different, but they're amazing. I love them all. Right? So don't judge yourself on the recipe you want. Just find the person in the niche, in the industry that you want to excel in. Go get their recipe. Go pay whatever it takes to get it and excel. I remember a cool analogy that a guy named Joe Polish taught me. And it was in, I think, Joe Polish's Piranha Marketing book. And Joe said this. Joe said he wanted to go out. He was going out jet skiing with this real estate guy. And he gets out the real estate guy because Joe was a carpet cleaner. Gets out, he's going along with this real estate guy, asking him all these questions. The real estate guy looks at him and says, hey, what you're really alluding to is you want to get into real estate. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, because you think there's a lot more money in this space. And Joe goes, absolutely. And he goes, is there anybody in the space that you're in, which is the carpet cleaning space, that is making the amount of money that you want to make? And he said, yes. He goes, well, then it's not the industry, it's you. And I think that's what we get screwed up. A lot of us have a lot of talent. We're just not looking at who's doing exactly what we need to do in the space we want, who has the recipe, going after it like crazy. It'll change your life. Anyway, hopefully this helped you. But if I were the younger me and could have figured this out, man, I would have been hunting down some serious recipes.